Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen Farmer, and welcome to the April Oracle card. I'm going to draw three cards. I'm going to draw two from Earth Magic Oracle cards, and then um, and I'm going to anyway, and then also one from the Power Animal Oracle cards. There we go, and we'll see. The question really that came to me that I want to ask about is how to stay centered during these times of chaos, which it's pretty much been the way it is, actually for a few years, let alone this last year. So I'm going to draw two from the Earth Magic Oracle cards. I did a prayer before I turned the video on, so got a lot of help, I think, with this one. So good one. All right, here we go. One card down here. I'll show you in just a minute here. And two, a second card from the Earth Magical Oracle cards. For some reason, this other one's wanted to pop out, so we're going to include that here eventually. And at the same one from the Power Animal Oracle cards, as I mentioned. So here we go. One from the Power Animal Oracle cards. And then we got this one that's sitting up there that just sort of popped out. So let's see what we got. One, two, and then this fourth one. Okay, in order: whale, breach; forest, breath; swan, grace. Appreciate the beauty inside and all around you. Wow, that's a good one. And then the extra card, and we'll call it ceremony, from the Earth Magic Oracle card deck, is ceremony, invocation. So let me hold up the first three, and you can take a glance at them and also get a sense yourself. It isn't necessarily that the message in the cards or from that's written in the cards is the message, because sometimes you can get a kind of riff off of the image or the statement or the key word or words, and you get some other intuitive hit that I think is important to pay attention to too. So anyway, I'm not holding them up very well, but there they are, the three cards in order. And breach. Sorry. The breach a whale is when they breach the surface of the ocean, of course, and come out from deep underneath. And that's really very appropriate for right now as far as dealing with the chaos, is taking things differently, trying something different, moving into another phase. What it's suggesting is those of you who are listening are actually already moving into a different phase of your life. You're breaching, and you're also breaching some of those old thoughts and beliefs and ways of being. There's always talk about, wow, can't wait till we get back to normal. But let me pose this question to you. What if it doesn't ever get back to the normal that we've defined as normal? How will you adapt? How will you breach that skin of the water and come up for air? That's the other meaning too, is the subconscious, listening to the subconscious and allowing it to be a sender that can be sent to the conscious mind, so that you're consciously aware of what's going on under the surface. That's another piece there. And that's important. And also, I view the subconscious mind, what we're calling the subconscious mind, those things that we're not aware of, as a conduit for spirit, for the spiritual input and the spiritual information to come through. Forest, breathe, second card. Again, answering the question or responding to the question, what does it take to uh, deal with all this chaos around us, to stay centered, as much as possible? And that's a forward one. I don't really have a lot of much to say about that, other than, breath. That slowing down of the breath that's important. Forest shows up too, and there's this term that's come up lately called a forest bath. And I don't know what it is exactly, to be quite honest with you. I haven't looked into it, but I get it. And that's to take a walk through the woods or the bush or the forest and just really enjoy. While you're there, breathe, allow your breath to lead the pace of your walk. In other words, don't hurry, slow down. And also, there's a tendency, I know I caught myself earlier, today, as I'm walking, looking down instead of looking up, and even in a neighborhood situation like this, being able to see the trees and the slight breeze that's blowing them and the dance that they do. Not really in the forest, but in a way I am. And I bet most of you are too. At least it's available right nearby. So literally go and walk in the woods or the forest or the bush. Figuratively, go outside, go to the park, go down the beach, do something, get outside. It is coming into summer here before too long. We're already seeing the signs of it, certainly here in Southern California. So, yes, things are birthing or rebirthing, as the case may be. Swan, grace. Grace is one of my favorite words. I think when we can walk in grace, it really is about being fully present, really showing up, and that sense of no time, that sense of being in the zone. There's different ways to describe it, but being able to experience that as much as possible. Presence would be another term for it, and that state of grace also is having access to the higher power in some way, shape, or form. And of course, here different places, of the story of Jesus and his being nailed to the cross and then reemerging, birthing from that tomb and then ascending. So I think that's a wonderful story, and it's um, a good metaphor also for any of us, as we do this rebirthing process, that happens every year and is happening in spring. And that association with God, with Creator, with Great Spirit, that association where we are lined up, our will is lined up with the will of the Creator. You can't go wrong with that. And that's a state of grace. Everybody take a deep breath right there. And feel that state of grace, the reemergence of love, beauty, compassion, and the world right now. And I'm not just saying humans, I mean the animals, the trees, the cloud, everything, all the beings on this remarkable piece of rock we call the earth. It's an awakening time right now, and it truly is a period of grace, if you allow it. Last but not least, ceremony, invocation. Invocation is the key word that jumps out at me there, and that's, invoking the higher power, invoking the presence of the Creator, invoking the presence of God, invoking the presence, if you're Christian, invoking the presence of the Christ, invoking the presence of whatever higher power, whatever form that takes, invoking the presence in all the different emanations in this world, both in the non-visible and the visible world, the expressions of the Creator and the creation. This planet, as much as is going on and the changes going on, and we human beings, doing what we're doing, dealing with this virus and the next one and all that, and all the rules and the social stuff that we have to contend with in this new era. Um, Stay present as possible. Stay present as possible. The breath will help you do that. The invocation, the last card, the ceremony, it's just a few days from new moon. New moon's a great time to do a ceremony, and that is a ceremony of manifestation. What do you want to see in that next two cycles? So that's a few days away. We're just past the full moon just a few days ago. So the new moon will be popping up, I think, in about 9, 10 days, something like that. So that's a good time to do a ceremony. Regardless of that, blessings to every one of you. Take good care of yourselves, and every morning and 3 or 4 times a day, pause, count your blessings, as they say, and just list, even say it out loud, the things that you're grateful for, at least 4 things that you're grateful for in your life. We gotta, those of us who are drawn to the light, I guess many ways to say that, but are doing the work in service, to the world, whatever that may be. We're really needed on front, and we need to be present as possible. So visit that place, that state of grace, as often as you can. I one piece of just short story. My dear beloved sister Susan, who's in Minnesota, has worked quite a bit with the dying in hospice situations. And I heard stories. She shared me a couple of stories about that. And I asked her, I said, Susan, what do you bring to that kind of circumstance where you're visiting the dying and helping them along. There's this big pause, you know, probably about 15 seconds, and all she did is say one word: grace. That says it all, doesn't it? All right, have a good holiday weekend. You know, we're in the midst of right now, and also a good emergence into spring and all of the symbols of spring that we have, the bunnies and the eggs. It's just a great time of year to reawaken, you know, if we've been kind of sleeping here the last few months. Anyway, take care. God bless. Thanks for joining me.